Fantastic. Welcome to my live BTC update where I'll be going over the market conditions of Bitcoin and showing you my thoughts on what's going on with the market. So please do like, comment and subscribe. Much appreciated. Let me know that you're enjoying the content. Let me know if there's any content that you'd like me to cover. But yes, let's go. Let's get right into it. So this is the Bitcoin chart. There's a lot of hype around the market at the moment. We recently made last week a all-time high here at 125.5, 124.5. And there's a lot of emotions around the market at the moment, especially since we've pulled back since making that all-time high. Now, whenever we make an all-time high, we always get a sell-off. I don't know why people go mad over all-time highs. I really don't. Because to be honest, it doesn't really matter. What we're interested in trading is price action. So price goes up, price comes down, price goes up, price comes down, price goes up and continues up, makes an all-time high, pulls back, goes down, up, down, all the way up to another all-time high. And here we are back down again. Remember that 20% of the time we will be trending up or down, and 80% of the time we will be trading sideways in consolidation before then potentially making a correction down to the down south, or we're going to continue on upwards. So that's what's happening now. We are simply in a range, and yeah, we're nice and chilled. So really, what are my next levels on BTC? What is the area that I'm interested in trading, in longing? So obviously what we've got up here, we've got a all-time high. So there are, if we find support anytime soon, there's a chance that we're going to come up to retest these highs, maybe break them, maybe not, before then returning down. Because don't forget that it's just one big range. That's what we're doing. So I'm going to give you my long levels. We are coming down to actually one of my levels that I've got set out actually for a trade. Let me just have a quick look while I'm on. Yeah, it's coming in. Nice. So in terms of Bitcoin, let's get down to it. Let's make this video nice, short, sharp, and to the point. So levels I'm looking for. So first off, we can see we're coming down to this low here. Will we stop here around this low at 112? Potentially, potentially. What you have here is you have a previous high of this range. So we're going to mark this out. What we're going to do, we're going to nicely build a case for a area of interest for which we may trade. So what we've got range lows, range highs, range lows, range highs, range lows, range highs. In other words, we've got a demand zone, which is support, and we've got a distribution zone, a supply zone, which is resistance. And we can tell that we have hit resistance, sold off, hit resistance, sold off, hit resistance, sold off before breaking through. So this area here is a previous resistance level. Now we have slightly retested this before, but not too deeply. So what I think is going to happen on this particular zone, I think we are coming down to retest these lows. This one first, before then potentially coming down to these lows here to test. So I'm going to mark that out first. There is my first area of interest straight away. What we're going to do now is going to mark out some levels. So next area for me is going to be these liquidity zones. So we've got a liquidity zone here. Amazing thing is we're having a bit of sell-off. We're having a bit of a sell-off while we're live and the alerts are going mad. So we've got first bit of liquidity there. Got the second bit of liquidity here. And if we put this on the 4-hour chart, you'll see that we have got a previous area of consolidation. If we put this on the 30-minute, we can see to the left here, we've got an area of previous consolidation, which is always, alerts are going mad. It's always interesting just here to see what volume levels that we've got in terms of our previous value areas just here. There we go. So we've got a previous point of control within this area as well. So that's something for us to be aware of. So that point of control is at about 111k. So the point of control of this previous range here is at 111k. So that's something for us to be aware of. Let's get rid of that. Go back to the 12-hour chart and let's zoom out. Right, okay, so this bit of liquidity here is at 110,400. This bit of liquidity here is at 111,800. So this kind of area here is where I'm actually interested in. So let's mark out some other levels. Have we got any monthly support? No. Weekly support? No. Daily support? No. So there's no weekly, daily, or monthly support in and around here. But let's see what volume levels that we do have. So we can see here that this is our area of interest. This is why we've zoomed in on this area. Now what we're going to do is zoom in even more so and start to really identify to see if we've got any good volume levels as well. So there's no monthly naked points of controls. The weekly naked point of control is at 108. That's interesting. So let's mark that out just there. We have a weekly naked point of control at this particular point. It may be interesting for us. It may not. Let's get the daily naked points of controls as well so we can see any untapped volume levels. This is where traders were happily trading around here and probably got the direction wrong. Right, okay, what do I need to do? Right, perfect. Let's get that to load up. It takes a while when I'm streaming live. Very slow at the moment. Very slow indeed. Okay, let me just bring that back a little bit more to get this tool to work. What I'm after is looking at the volume in and around this point here. Right, okay, so let me bring that back there. What I'm going to be interested in is seeing what the volume is saying in and around here. Because I believe, because we had a previous range point of control here, I do believe we should have some kind of daily levels here as well. Perfect, here we go. So we can see there is a daily point of control that's naked, bang on the 111. So that daily point of control is exactly where the previous range Am I on now?
I can't hear you on audio. You're moving around.
Absolutely wound her. So you definitely can't hear me on the live now.
Oh, you're on.
Yeah. Hear me?
You paused.
Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, testing.
Okay, I can hear you now, but there's like a 10-second lag.
So I've just had a call from my PA and she said that the audio is lagging. So I do apologise about that, but let's crack on. I'm halfway through it now. So hopefully all is well. So let's finish this trade setup. Let's finish this area in which, yeah, that should be on. Mic should be on. There's always flipping technical issues, isn't there? Fantastic. We're back on. We're back on. So we've got this area here. So this area here, I'm interested in this area here. This was the area that we bounced off of this anchored VWAP here before we then made a new all-time high after this consolidation. So I'm liking, so far I can see, I'm liking this area here, which is around, it's around the 112 area. So let's have a look. So we've got this area here. I've got the weekly point of control. We've also got liquidity around here as well. Also got liquidity around here as well. So this is a good area for us to start to DCA, dollar cost average, into. Why? Well, we've got liquidity here on these lows here to swing failure pattern off. We've also got this naked point of control here at the bottom of this vector candle. We've also got the liquidity just below the vector candle. We've also got this anchored VWAP just here. And we've also got this naked point of control on the weekly, as well as this liquidity. So this is a very, very good area that I would say, I'm hoping that we come down, get a nice bounce to make another all-time high. That's what I'm thinking in this particular scenario. So let's have a look at in terms of stop losses, etc. Perfect. So let me just test the Fibonacci. So if I take a bit of a medium-term time frame from all the way back, probably a bit of a macro view from April up to the new all-time high. What levels are we looking at here? So, right, okay, so we're not really pulling back. I do like that as well, you know. If we do break below this 112 to 108,000, 108,500, if we do drop below that, we're coming down to these levels here. But if I start to take the Fibonacci a little bit further up to see if we can get a bit of confluence here. Let's take it from this pivot low here all the way to the most recent all-time high. Okay, so I think we're going to be probably coming down to the 50 and the golden channel. So that's what confluence in terms of the Fibonacci levels that we've got here. There's the pivot low. There's the all-time high. Obviously, we've got a pivot high there. This is where we've come down. We did actually short this move as well. But you can see the 50 Fibonacci is just above that naked point of control. But just as a bit of a safety precaution, I think this golden channel just below our buy-in zone here may help us. So I'd be tempted to put my stop loss in and around this kind of area here, below all this liquidity here, and below this golden channel. So I'd probably be putting my stop loss at 106, 600. 106, 600. Obviously, none of this is financial advice. It's purely done for educational purposes only. This is just entertainment. This is just my thoughts on the market. Yeah, hope you enjoyed that. So in terms of buying zones here, let's have a look. Perfect. Let me put the buying zones here. So we've got 112, 150 to 108, 500. It's around this kind of area here. I want to remove that golden channel to make the charts nice and clean. bring that out here. This will get sent out to our community for them to study this chart, potentially follow if they want to. And in terms of where our TP zone is, you've got the option to either scalp trade this or follow it up for a new all-time high. So if I take a Fibonacci extension from this low to this previous high before the all-time high to this pullback here. In fact, let me try this one here. Let me go from this pivot low here to this high to this pullback here. And that's what we've kind of hit. We've hit twice now from this low, high, higher low. We've got this 6.6 and this 618 here, this golden channel. So let's go up to the 1-to-1 ratio of this. We'll put the take profit anywhere from the top of this to 1% onwards. So around about here. And that should go on nicely to the 1-to-1 ratio, because then that will take us 135k. That will be the next leg up. Perfect. Let's make the take profit here. Let me put all the inputs in, and then you'll get to have a look at where I'm thinking about trading. 135,600. So that is the trade setup that I'd be looking at. Not only the buying area, but also the take profit. Obviously, you've got TP1 at the bottom, and then you can follow it up as you please. And obviously, we'll hit the 1-to-1 ratio here from the levels on the Fibonacci extension. So that's my thoughts on Bitcoin. Nice, short, sharp, sweet, and sexy. Hope you find it helpful. If you do have any questions, do let me know. Feel free to click my bio as well, which is the thing on my profile. Join the Discord. Have a look what we're up to as a community. We're taking our community through the charts on a daily basis. We've had a coaching call this morning. We've got another one on Thursday. Holding the hands of the mentees, etc., making sure that they know what's going on. But it's massively important for you guys to understand what's going on at the moment. Am I concerned about the bear market being around the corner? Not at all. Not at all. We will reach all-time highs. Once the dominance of Bitcoin reaches a high, then obviously we'll start to pull back on that. Money flow will then start to flow into Ethereum, as we all know. And then once it's flowed into Ethereum, it will then start to filter out into the altcoins, the larger cap coins, the medium cap coins, and then obviously the lower cap coins. And then the money flow will start to flow into them. And once it flows into the lower cap altcoins, that's when after the alt season, that's when we'll start to enter the bear market. I'll do another video using the Fibonacci time on when I think that may be. But to give you a bit of a clue, I do believe it will be around the October, November time when we begin to create the high in crypto, especially on Bitcoin and Ethereum. And then once we hit that high, we'll then start to decline. People will still think that we're in the bull market early 2026 because we'll probably get a dead cat bounce. We'll start to rally again with a face ripping rally, but we will then make a new lower high before then descending into 2026 when the bear market kicks in. Now this is good because this means discounted prices, and this is what excites us. It doesn't mean that trading's over. It means this is where we make our money for the next bull cycle, by sitting on our hands, just waiting there nice and relaxed and earning the money. It's a bit like buying real estate or property for discounted prices. That's what the bear market is for us as traders and investors. So hope you enjoyed this. Feel free to send me a DM. If you've got any questions, you want me to do any videos on anything else, do let me know, and I'll try to reply personally and make sure that I do them. All right. Have a great day. Speak soon.